This is Matt for Into Boxing. Delighted to be joined by boxers Ben Shalom. We're in the middle of the Thames. It's Savannah Marshall, Claressa Shields, all the marbles, fight week, an all-female card. Proud moment for you. It's a big tick box.
It's a massive tick box, but just happy to be involved. Massive fight, massive a card, but this fight in particular is special. As a boxing fan, even before I got into boxing, even before I think they turned over, I knew about Claressa Shields, I knew about Savannah Marshall. So to be here like 10 years later after London 2012, Savannah winning her gold in 2012 as well. Incredible story, incredible rivalry, and to arrive September the 10th at the O2 is what dreams are made of. But for the fighters as well, they could have never dreamt that they'd be being paid what they are, they'd be on a card like this, they'd be on an all-women's card, they'd be on a sellout card broadcast to 100 countries around the world. That's a special moment for women's boxing.
When you look at everything boxers done to date, when you look at the February schedule you had, and you got Calmbrook done, we've been waiting a million years for that, and now this, where does this sort of stand in your list of achievements that you've done so far? It must be up there.
Yeah, 100%. Look, we made a big commitment to women's boxing. I know there's still people that need to be converted on it and this and that, but it's only going to be converted by big rivalries and big fights. And this has 2 on the card, but Lauren, Caris, Caroline, 3 from Tokyo Olympics this year, who will all be on the card as well. It's a proud moment because I genuinely believe it's the first time in women's boxing where we have a rivalry like this, where we have a storyline like this, where we have the styles clashing, where we have the UK versus US, where we have the yin and yang personalities. It's ridiculously set up to take women's boxing to another level. And to be involved is just another thing.
I think when you look at, obviously, everyone talks about the 2 big fights. Like we had Katie Taylor and Serrano in Madison Square, and that was classed as a huge fight because they were talking about the Jake Paul element. But in terms of an actual rivalry, something that's been built up from the ground upwards, this is the first major one. And a lot of people are saying this is the bigger fight. And it's O2 Arena, big night of boxing. That must be a sort of a big feather in your cap to know that you're putting on this type of event. And like you say, you look at the personalities, there's genuine beef there. How much more excitement does that give you that there is a bit of needle there, that they are so different? You see Savannah, she's quiet, but she's a killer in the ring. You see Claressa, she's outspoken, but her achievements speak for themselves. It's a great combination, isn't it?
It's a special combination, and it's one that you can't make up. It's one that you can't fabricate. It's one that you can't, as a promoter, say to one of them, say this, you say that. This is so ridiculously genuine, it's almost built for it. I genuinely believe it was meant to be. I genuinely believe this time was meant to happen for women's boxing. All the hard work, all the guys that have broken barriers, from Jane Couch to Nicola Radams to Tasha Jonas, Katie Taylor. This is the pinnacle. This is the moment that we've never reached before. This is a rivalry that we've never seen before. And that's what grows sport. Sport is built on stories. Sport is built on rivalries. And this is the biggest one we've ever had.
Not just that, but the chief support probably could have headlined it on another day on its own. Michaela Mayer, Baumgartner. Michaela's always said, I want the belt. Looks like Alicia's took it probably more personal than Michaela. That's a great fight in itself. You must be pumped to have that one just behind it, because that, in many people's eyes, that could warrant headlining a card.
Any other
female
card could have been headlined by Mayer Baumgartner. It's a ridiculous fight. It's a ridiculous fight. And again, if I wasn't going on about Shields Marshall so much as the first women's rivalry, genuine story, next one I'd probably be talking about Mayer Baumgartner. It's 2 fiery characters. They don't like each other. Again, it's a clash of styles. Again, it's a clash of personalities. To get it all on one card, and that was the moment where we're like, we can actually do this. We can actually put on an all-women's card and sell it, and we can actually sell it around the world. And to have those 2 fights sat on the same card, this is historic. I think we'll look back on it because people will be shocked. People who don't know boxing will look at Saturday night and won't believe that they can see a sold-out O2 on Sky, on ESPN, on all these countries around the world, and it just be women's boxing. People will find that strange.
Absolutely, but it's here to stay, and I hope it is. Someone who was at your show last week at the Liam Smith show, Dillian Whyte, I'll just touch on him. I know you're not going to reveal talks that you've had, but he's obviously made it known he's a free agent, I believe. You guys must be keen on trying to sign him, obviously. Is that someone you're looking and interested to work with?
everyone's interested to work with Dillian Whyte, even though it's a good state of boxing when someone can lose and straight away he's in demand. Everyone wants him, and he wants to fight before the end of the year, and that's what we want. He's at the stage of his career where money talks.
Yeah.
I think if we're close, he'd prefer to be on. He'd like the benefits of Sky if we're close. We get on well. Took him to the Liverpool game.
Yeah, I saw that. Apart from the fact we didn't get 3 points, it would have been a good day. Right?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was like a meet and greet. Imagine being in the Liverpool end and turning around and Dillian Whyte's there. It was his first football game. We enjoyed it. Yeah, he enjoyed it. But he's a great guy. He's done a lot for the sport. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. We hope to be involved, but let's see.
Let's see what happens with that. Right, finally, so now I've kept you a little bit long. You've got Joseph Parker, who's going against Joe Joyce on a Frank Warren show. Does this, although it's a massive fight to make, does that show your sort of willingness to work with other promoters if the opportunity is right for your fighters? Because we see this a lot where we don't see it because you're never all together in a room, but there always seems to either be a friction, a tension. But does this sort of show from your standpoint and boxers, look, he's our fighter, but look, this is an opportunity for him, no problem if the deal's right?
It could have gone one way or another when we came into the market. I do think we're 3 promoters, 3 broadcasters, all being aggressive. And I said at the time, it could be a golden age for boxing, where promoters are under pressure and they have to work together and they have to deliver. I genuinely believe that's happening now. And I'm glad that I am part of the era where this could happen. We want to encourage it. We're hoping we're having an influence on promoters needing to deliver. I think everyone's stepping up their game. The fighters are winning. Everyone's winning. The fans are demanding it. Every promoter, once we do something where we work with X person, then suddenly there's a pointed finger at another promoter. Why aren't you working with them? And that just happens. And it's when we worked with another promoter, we're doing it as an encouragement. The more fights can go, there's enough. Boxing is a special place. There's enough fights. There's enough things going on that we don't have to think, there can only be 2-3 big fights every year. There can be huge fights all the time if everyone just moves the sport forward.
Look, I think the fans will be pleased to hear that. Look, Ben Shalom, thanks for giving us some of your time. It's going to be a huge weekend. I can't wait for it. Thanks for talking to Into Boxing, and we'll catch up later on in the week, bud.